Coming to you from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of the Santa Monica Mountains, I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Welcome to another episode of Questions with L.A. We'll get into these questions, but first a word from our trusted sponsor. Drug makers have paid a popular DNA ancestry app millions to access consumer DNA. For the price tag of a whopping $20 million, a pharmaceutical company will gain access to a vast collection of consumer DNA information. Folks, this is why tens of thousands use Virtual Shield 1 to protect their data. Virtual Shield 1 is an all-in-one security suite with an industry-leading VPN, the ability to help erase your online data from data mining sites, and identify protection that includes up to a whopping $1 million identity theft insurance policy. Now is the best time ever to get Virtual Shield 1 because every new sign-up gets a 60-day risk-free trial plus several other free bonuses. Get a free trial today by going to Virtual Shield /LA and the number 1. Once again, www.virtualshield/LA and the number 1. Okay, let's get right into it. Hopefully most of these questions will be pithy. We'll see what happens. But if you've got a question, I don't have all the answers, but I'll do my best to answer them. Shoot me an email at questions@lamarzulli.net. That is questions@lamarzulli.net. So let's get right into it. Hey, Mr. Marzulli, did you hear we're going to get a new federal national park in Georgia? It's the mounds there. The Native Americans in that area say that it's their sacred place. Just thought it was interesting because, one, demons are the spirit of dead Nephilim. Okay, so they must return to the mounds and long for the days where they had bodies. I'm not sure what the question is here. Ray says, this is from Ray. He goes, I don't want to be on any mound ever. I will say this, these are charged sites. There's no doubt about it. I've experienced it. I've experienced the pushback on some of these things. Heck, in our film, On the Trail of the Nephilim, I think it's either one or two, but Chief Joseph Riverwind is on the Great Circle Mound in Ohio. We were just there, by the way, in the summer of 2023. And Chief Joseph is lecturing a group of people there, and this woman is standing about 8 to 10 feet away from the chief, and she just flies back, just up in the air and flies back and lands on her back. We also know that Henry Gruver, and I want to thank Steve Quayle for letting me use the audio of that interview that he did years ago when Henry Gruver was alive, and Henry Gruver went out to the Serpent Mound. He wasn't told to go to the Serpent Mound by the Lord, but he did anyway. The sin of presumption. In fact, Henry Gruver says it's the sin of presumption. So, once again, this is all in a dramatization of this, is in one of our On the Trail of the Nephilim series. I believe it's Secrets of the Supernatural, Voices from the Other Side. If you want to see that, that's where it is. Very strange stuff. And so Gruber's out there and he's praying over the mound. And as he's walking off the mound, the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio, there's nobody else there. Nobody in the parking lot. Place is deserted. All of a sudden, he's hit in the solar plexus with an unseen hand, essentially. He falls to the ground. His knees come up into his chest, and he can't move. He's paralyzed. And it starts to snow. And he's realizing that he's going to die here if he can't get up and move. He's praying of the Lord, and the Lord finally releases him. And you have to ask yourself, well, why would the Lord allow this? The Lord teaches us sometimes in very severe ways. This is a severe way when he allows the enemy to seemingly have the upper hand. Henry Gruver was released. The Lord said, Henry, I didn't tell you to come here. It's a sin of presumption. This is how you get him in trouble. And this is how we get him in trouble when we do things and it's actually comes from pride, in my opinion. When we're prideful and we think that we've got all the answers, or we start going off on our own without the Lord telling us to, we can get into all sorts of trouble. The good news is, his grace is there and it's abundant, but, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And that's where I want to lean towards. I hope that helps. This is from Bill. I'm wondering if LA has considered exploring, pursuing, or discussing further the unexplored avenue of what actually happens with the hybrids that are possibly being produced as a result of a suspected abduction program. Many have mentioned the subject matter. However, I have not heard anyone in the field of research ever discuss points as where do they go? What do they become? How are they introduced into society? Are they controlled? Okay, so let's walk through some of this because he's asking very specific questions. So let's walk through it. Where do they go? Well, the hybrid that was integrating or with Al Matthews, that whole deal, that's in our very first UFO series with Al. And Al talks about meeting this woman with the wraparound glasses. She, at this point, she's assimilated, essentially. She looks and can pass as a normal, very attractive woman, but she's not. Let's continue. What do they become? In my opinion, these are like this woman that Al Matthews had this contact with. She is a modern-day Nephilim. She's the result of the breeding program, which in my opinion is a modern-day Nephilim. Here's the rub. We can't do anything about that. Al, for all practical purposes, Al Matthews thought she was just a very attractive gal till she took the glasses off and she went to kiss him, and then he pushes her away from him, and she lets out the most evil laugh you've ever heard. Al talks about this. So let's continue. How are they introduced into society? Very good question. According to what I know in Dr. Jacobs' book, Walking Amongst Us, there are handlers. Karen Wilkinson in her book, Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest, talks about the handler that she had when she was first abducted at 6 years old. So when these women give birth to the hybrids, they become the handlers, and they will integrate them into places like Walmart. That sounds really weird. Go to Walmart at 2 or 3 in the morning. Where am I getting this from? I'm getting it from Dr. David Jacobs' book, Walking Amongst Us. Because Jacobs says, and I agree with him, this is the training ground. This is where they go to learn to integrate. How do they live with others in special locations? The end game, we don't know. But when they show up, that's when I believe the hybrids will definitely have marching orders. I mean, I hope that helps. Yeah. How do we know that the Sphinx in Egypt isn't an effigy of the Prince of the Power of the Air? That's a really good question. And this is from Brigg. I'm not sure of the real name as they didn't sign it, but that's okay. We don't know. Many people look at the Sphinx and believe that they took the original head that was there and repurposed it. And we see this a lot all throughout some of these ancient sites where they'll go in and they'll find, like a culture will come into a place like, let's say, the Giza Plateau, and they'll see the Sphinx, and some pharaoh will recut that, repurpose the image. What was it originally? That's up for conjecture, and we don't know. A lot of points. One of the points that you say here, that maybe it's an effigy of the Prince of the Power of the Air. It certainly could have been, but again, that's conjecture and we just don't know. This is from Loretta. I have never seen commentary on what happened to the woman the fallen angels had sex with. Genesis 6:2 seems to imply the women had no choice in the matter. Were they able to be redeemed? Or was their DNA changed afterward that redemption was not possible? I understand the offspring of Nephilim and Solus. This has troubled me. The women are innocent here. I get that. How all that works, I don't know. Nobody knows. Scripture is very silent. Even the book of Enoch is very silent. We know that the fallen angels took wives. Is it possible that they all die in childbirth? That's certainly possible. Did they have any choice in the matter? It doesn't seem like they did. But again, we have Scripture, but we don't have all the answers, and I don't have all the answers. That's a great question, and at some point on the other side of eternity, I think we'll know the answer to that. This is from Amanda. L.A., thank you so much for your due diligence. May the Father bless you. May his face shine upon you. I am a reborn follower of the way. My husband thinks I'm a nut, but is entertaining the idea of giants, fallen ones, etc. I have seen your clip on YouTube and would like to further their interest in Jesus. Okay, so let me see what the question is. We are in the Gulf in Florida by the Crystal River Serpent Mounds. I've seen UFOs here and need more information to enlighten my family on the subject. I am the primary breadwinner for the family as my husband is disabled. I'm sorry to hear that. Where is the best place to find video streaming and free or little cost? If you go to our streaming site, streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net, all of our videos are up there. As far as UFO stuff, there are now 8 films that are available. On the Trail of a Nephilim, there are 8. Fatima, there's 2. And of course, the Watchers series, there is 11. Hope that helps. This is from Peter. Hey, LA, thank you for all that you do in his service. What do you think which rung of the ladder this is? Peter in Switzerland. And then, of course, he's talking about strange device made by this man that can see multidimensional beings. I saw that. I'm really not buying that. I don't think that. I think it's photoshopped. If I had the device here and I could test it, that would be one thing. But anybody can film something and then add something with either AI or Photoshop. So hope that helps. This is from Bertha. I've tried emailing, but for some reason it's not going through. It got through. It's here. Hey, LA, I have a lot of experiences, including being elevated, levitated, I think is what she says, sleep paralysis. I have pictures of 3 scratches on a leg and a video of some shadowy figure as I sleep. Would appreciate some input. Well, you're being visited. There's no doubt about that. And I would strongly suggest keeping praise music on. Look, this is nothing to fool around with. The supernatural world is real. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The supernatural world is real, and sometimes it manifests. It's manifesting in your house. The question is, why is it manifesting? You've got scratches on your legs. A friend of mine's daughter was getting into some really dark stuff, and she woke up one morning, and there were scratches on her. We've heard this before. It's more common than people think. A lot of people just dismiss it. Stay prayed up, rebuke first, ask questions later, confess all sin, go to the Father and ask for deliverance, ask the Lord to bring his angels about you to protect you in Jesus' name. Anyway, folks, you can see right here, we've got the Roswell films. They are available. You can go to streaming.lamarzulli.net and download them. Or if you want the hard copies, the DVDs, go to lamarzulli.net. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back again with more questions.